For this assignment, I chose to report on CapRock Ranch, and I completed my internship here as well. A little bit of an overview of the course. CapRock is an 18-hole par 71 private golf course, and it really only offers golf, lodging, and food. Outside of that, there's no other amenities like a pool, spa, none of that. So jumping into it, the golf course architect for this course is Gil Hans, and one kind of interesting fact about this course is that they initially began the design process at the start of the century back in the early 2000s and kind of had to put it on the back burner for a decade or so, and then in the mid 2010s they were able to pick it back up and complete the course in 2020. And Gil himself started his design firm with the idea of having a more personalized, special touch, just a more caring touch. And then Gil himself has experience working on multiple high-level properties, such as the Olympic golf course where the Olympic Games were held down in Rio. A couple of design features on this course. CapRock is a link-style golf course. It's incredibly strategy-based. It's a very big risk and reward course. Almost every single hole is set up where you can either take on a bunker or a canyon for a look at the green that's a little bit better, or you can play it safe and have a bit of a blind shot, which leads into my next bullet. Almost every single hole, minus the par threes, has one form of blind shot, one way or another, just given on where you're located in the fairway. And on the greens themselves, since we are in the sandhills and there's not a ton of natural undulations, there's a lot of subtle ones that aren't really noticeable until you just play the course and just kind of understand that it's going to break towards the canyon. The course itself is unbelievably scenic and picturesque. Half the time when people are out there, they've got no clue they're in Nebraska. It's gorgeous. You're located right along the Snake River Canyon, right in the middle of the sandhills. And on top of that, one thing that just makes it even more scenic is just the large, vast bunkers and natural blowouts that we have on the course that provide a challenge, and especially if you're not confident in getting out of them. So right here, we are looking at hole 6's green from the hole 7 tee box right along the Snake Canyon. And this picture just kind of goes to show the picturesque or the scenic views of the course. This is one of the better views in the course you get, right here at sunset. The sun setting right over the canyon makes it, something special. This right here is hole 11, and I was actually lucky enough while working maintenance out there to hear Gil talk about this hole. This is one of his favorite holes on the course because it really just brings into play just the entire design aspect of the course. Over on the left side of the screen over here where you got the two bunkers, you can take on those bunkers for a chance at a short 80-yard shot at the green where you can see it, or you can take the safe play down over here to the right and just have a completely blind shot coming back up over the hill, but you're not fighting any of those bunkers since this one right here isn't reachable. Makes it a big risk and reward course. Strategy comes into play a lot out there. A couple areas I believe they could improve upon is to reduce the overall total number of blind shots. Spending the last 2 years out there working and caddying, that has been the number one complaint from members and new players as well. Just not knowing where they're going. There's too many shots where, you got to run up the hill and see where you're going, stuff like that. And then straighten tee boxes as well. By that I mean there's a handful of tee boxes out there, probably 3 or 4 of them, that when folks aren't paying attention and they just go straight on the line of the tee box, it sends them into the tall grass. I've received a couple complaints about that. And then a big one is to cut some safe walk paths through native grass. We have some pretty narrow trails out there that could definitely, use a little bit more TLC. I had an incident this year where I was caddying and stepped on a rattlesnake, so I wouldn't mind, and I know the members wouldn't as well, making those a little bit bigger and safer just for everyone. And then lastly would just be to add a few more trees, especially throughout the back 9 when you just kind of get out into the prairie. just to improve the scenery and overall increase the level of strategy that comes into play. I just think that would make the course play a little bit more difficult, but it would make it a little bit more picturesque as well. And that is all I have.